Maisy, what's your first question for Moriah?
Who is she?
Who is she? Yeah. Who are you, Moriah?
That's a big question.
What kind of person are you?
I would say overall, I'm a happy person.
Okay.
I'm a caring person. I usually am an energetic person. And I'm a very loving person. Wait, did I say that already? Well, I guess I say it twice.
So let's dive in a little bit deeper. Where are you from?
I was born here in Corvallis.
Okay.
I was raised all over the United States and Mexico. Never lived anywhere longer than 2 months at a time. And came back when I was 31.
And you came back at 31. And how did you end up in real estate?
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with how I was raised. I never had like a home base, you know. We moved every 2 months, and I think that home became really important to me because home is where, you know, the good things happen, where there's stability and warm feelings, and it's people's safe space where they can just be themselves and trust, I guess. So I think that's how I got into it.
Now,
to share that.
Now, well, on the origin story, on the basis of origin.
One more question for you.
Okay.
How did you start real estate?
How did I start in real estate? Well, you know, her and I actually have something similar in that, Maze, is that I think anyone who gets into this business authentically obviously has a value for wanting to see people have a place to call their own.
Yeah.
Like that's the energy that drives it. That's the magic that drives the passing off the initial keys is like, I'm brokering place. Now, I don't know that I could actually articulate it that way when I got into real estate when I was 21.
Oh, I don't think I could either. Yeah. I actually think I just realized that about 6 months ago.
Wow. So you've now been in the business for a decade.
Yeah. Almost 11 years.
And 6 months ago, you have this epiphany of like, I love brokering place. So what happened? 31 to 41, you sell real estate for 10 years. Yeah. Can you tell us about that journey?
Oh, well, I didn't start real estate at 31.
Oh, okay. Well, then catch me up. What am I missing here? I just assumed you got right into it. So that was a poor assumption.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I didn't realize I just assumed you were in a day over 41.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm 46. I didn't get into real estate till I was 35.
Okay.
And I waited until my son was a little older. And when he was in school, I started real estate. And I actually got into it accidentally. I was a property manager for 76 units, and I realized I wanted to start my own business. So I went to get my license and had to be a realtor for 3 years before you can be a property manager, like with your own business. And I was really good at it, and I loved it. I loved helping people figure out what they could do and what they wanted, and then just supporting them and walking them on that journey to find that, and not giving up on them when they would get discouraged, because people, they give up on themselves a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ain't that the truth? So, Maze, what was one of the other questions that we had? I know you're working hard on your kitty over there.
I'm drawing myself one.
Oh, you're drawing yourself one. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask the question that we were talking about earlier, which is for anyone to have lasted 10 years doing anything has to be driven by some kind of why. So how would you articulate why you do what you do?
Passion. I'm very passionate about, well, I love people. I genuinely love people. And I guess I get caught up in their feelings and desires of finding a home, and it feeds me. So
you have passion for real estate. And where do you think that originally started? Like you talked a little bit about, you know, the sense of home, but take us all the way back to like your family from Mexico. We had a question from the audience. Which part of Mexico, first of all, was your family from?
Oh, they weren't from there, but we lived, I remember camping out in the woods in Mexico City. like in the outskirts of Mexico City. So, yeah.
So when did that start, that passion for home and delivering that?
Probably when I was around Maisy's age.
Wow. Do you hear that, Maze? 7.5 years old. Tell us more.
Okay, I have one memory of moving to a new place and coming to my mom and just feeling so sad. And I remember telling her, Mom, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow because I don't know anybody here. I don't know the area. Like, we just got in at night, you know, and that was very foundational in my life, because when you're a kid and you move to a new place and you don't have like a solid home, it's hard to imagine your life there, and it doesn't feel secure. So I think that's when passion for home started. Yeah.
So the insecurity created the passion. It fueled it.
It created the passion for me to find my own home.
Yeah.
Which I worked 7 years to buy my house.
Wow.
It was hard. But then I think it created the passion to make that easier for people and help them achieve their goals, because I think a lot of people don't realize how close they are.
Yeah.
Just because they're not familiar with it. And
Yeah.
I like to help them with that.
I want to go into that story of you 7 years buying your first home, because
Oh,
I know that one passion that you and I both share is first-time home buyers.
Mm-hmm, very much so.
And even though sometimes love you guys, but you're more work and typically less money.
That is true.
We still love you, and you're like, it's just so core to our journey is getting into home ownership.
It's fulfilling for me anyway. It's very fulfilling.
So tell us, 7 years. You said it took you 7 years to buy a house. So at what point were you like, I want to buy a house, to then actually buying a house? What happened?
I worked 3 jobs and
Wow.
saved everything that I possibly could. And I would sit down with my son and we would talk about it. And we would, you know, I would talk to him throughout that whole time, because I wanted him to know that we weren't just going to live in an apartment. We were going to have a home. And it was a big deal when we finally bought a house, which was after I became a real estate agent,
Wow.
honestly.
Yeah.
It was 2018.
Wow.
So
you're helping people buy houses even before you had your own home.
yeah.
How did you get started? Like what gave you the courage to get your license and actually start selling homes, even though you hadn't even bought one yourself?
I just started saying yes to things. And I wanted to change my situation. I wanted to change my son's situation. And I found myself having a talent for something and a passion for people that I didn't know I had until I, reached out and tried to start doing it. And I had really supportive clients who knew me well.
Yes.
So that helped too.
Yeah, you had people that knew your character, that trusted you, and that's where your initial clients came from, was people who know
me.
Yeah, know, like, and trust you. So what advice would you give to someone who's like on that precipice, thinking about jumping into real estate, or have just started, and maybe they have the imposter syndrome where they don't even own their own home and they're helping other people buy it?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to them? What advice could you give to our crew?
I would say always believe in yourself. Always say yes and know that you can do it if you just put one foot in front of the other. And sit down with a pad of paper and a pen and just write down everybody that you know loves you and you love. And that's where you start.
Uh-oh, alarm's going off.
I'd say
that's our reminder to go check in with some audience engagement. And specifically, one of our audience members asked, are there any misconceptions about real estate?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was like, which one do you want to start with?
Absolutely.
Where would you start?
I would say the biggest one that I see is that a lot of people who aren't in real estate or haven't walked beside someone who does real estate thinks that it's just easy money and that we don't do anything. And then when they actually, like, for example, my husband thought that, what's the point of a real estate agent? And then he married me and he watches me do all these things. And he's like, oh my God, I had no idea all of the drama and the dumpster fires and all the things you guys are dealing with while you're smiling and keeping everybody calm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that's the biggest misconception about real estate.
You know, it's crazy you bring that up because the average real estate agent does not make a lot of money.
No.
If you were to take all the people that have licenses, it's well below the median income in our country. And sadly, there's been some really challenging things that have happened in our industry over the last 2 years where the average real estate agent last year sold 0 homes. Over half of agents sold no homes last year, which means they're not making a living, they're not making money. And we're probably coming out of the longest duration of real estate drought from a transaction standpoint in modern history. So if you go back to the last time we had this few transactions, just in 2024, for example, that was one of the lowest years since 1993. And 2025 was not much better than 2024.
It was rough.
So anyone who's in the business right now and this is for all of our live audience too, if you have survived maintaining your license over the last 24 months in real estate, congratulations, you are in the minority of real estate professionals. So thank you for that question, Ava. That's a great one. So Moriah, let's bring it to today.
Okay.
You have survived 10 years in the business. And you've survived the last 2, which that's true survival.
I feel like I've done more than survive.
And so tell us, the average agent is selling 0 to 1 home in a year.
Nationally, yeah.
Nationally, yeah. What was going on with Moriah these last 2 years?
I mean, I would say I usually do about 25 a year.
25 families through the real estate transaction.
Yeah.
So you guys are talking to someone who has 25x'd some of the average real estate counts for transactions in the last year. So you're doing good. I mean, you've got a great business. You have people that know, like, and trust you, and you've got a good gig going. And then you decide to do this crazy brokerage change into something that's more like a teamerage / then they're partnered with Place, and
it's definitely stretching.
All of this new stuff. You just put yourself in the crucible of change. So what happened? What did you decide to do after 10 years of business? What did you decide to do, and why?
I think that for the last few years, I've been looking for my family, people that I can just rely on to be there for me when I need to bounce an idea off of them or support me when I'm putting out a dumpster fire or, just have around. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand with wanting a home, like how home is so important. I think a family also is. I have a huge family, of brothers and sisters, but I think having a family dynamic in work is also really supportive. And I think I can do better. I think I can do better than 25 a year. I think I can help more families in a year with the support that I see this Discover Oregon Real Estate giving.
Well, I'll tell you that Bryant Howard thinks you're awesome. He said, amazing human, amazing broker. And one of your fellow team members celebrates you, saying, love your passion for people, Moriah. So people are seeing you. People are watching you. They're
Stop it. I'm turning red.
And we even have some live questions coming in from our live audience on the comment thread. Wow, lots of engagement. Thank you, everyone, for being on this. I'm curious, unpack that a little bit more. So you have a real estate family, and you make this change for growth. What are you most excited about for yourself and for your clients in this coming year, 2026?
I am most excited to have the technical and staff support so that I can just focus more on what I love best about real estate, and that's connection and building trust relationships with my people and meeting new ones. And, and I will say this, I've always felt like I wanted to be more involved in the community. Like I love supporting local and everything like that, but I've always just felt busy. And I feel like I really was attracted to the fact that Discover Oregon Real Estate is extremely community minded, and that excited me a lot. So I'm excited about seeing how I fit into that.
Well, we're honored to have you aboard, Moriah. And truly, I mean, I think I speak for myself, for the whole team, that we're super pumped. Also, speaking of other people who are pumped, Emmeline says, definitely an awesome human.
Aww.
Exclamation point heart, just in case you're curious. Maisy, did you have a question you wanted to add to the mix?
Yeah. Can I go run in the gym for a minute?
Oh boy. All right. Well, tell me you're doing a podcast interview at the Boys and Girls Club without telling me you're doing one. After the show, you can if you're really well behaved. But we are going to focus on our guest here.
I need to go get my wiggles out.
All right, go get it around the room.
She's got wiggles. I got wiggles, man.
Go. Yeah. I have a few other questions, and I want to make sure we capture audience questions. We did get a question from one of our guests, and that is, what is your favorite part of a real estate transaction?
When all the contingencies have been removed and I give my clients the news.
Love that. So when it's
because
done,
then it's like
when it's done, basically.
Yeah, well, not necessarily.
When
there's always that one little point where we're just waiting to see if that appraisal comes in. All the inspections and negotiations have been done, but we just don't know. And there's no wiggle room, and it's kind of nail biting.
Yeah.
And then you get to tell them, and then everyone's like, oh my God.
When it goes from like, is this actually happening to, oh, this is happening. Yeah.
I love their faces and their like hearts. That's just the best.
Yeah. When they have that light bulb discovery moment, I'm one step closer to finding my place.
Tears. There's tears. I see tears a lot from that.
Yeah. What a special moment in the human experience too,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the sense of place. This is what I want to end with before we wrap up. We've got an audience question. I think that I might end with them. That's regarding The Walking Dead. Have you watched The Walking Dead?
Yes.
Okay, and it's going to be a live question, so we're going to actually have a guest on for that one too. So, before we get to that though, I just want to pause in a moment of place. Our mission is in a sentence to help people find their place in this world, whether that be for their life, for that living, or for their legacy. And so, when you think about your journey to finding your place, both here in life, in making a living, and also in leaving a legacy in what you do, what has been one of the biggest helps to you in that journey?
There's so much.
And you can just pick the top 3 things that come to mind. Any one of them. You already shared one, which was you bought your first house. I'm sure that helped.
Helped what?
You and your sense of finding your place in this world.
Yes, it helped me find home.
Yeah.
I would say my son was huge in that, and still is. He's a teenager now, and that's definitely helping me find my place.
Do you have any advice for teenage moms to teenagers out there?
Don't be offended if they don't want to spend time with you. And honestly, my husband, I feel like I had to change a lot and grow as a person to be able to meet him and for it to connect. And he definitely makes me feel like I'm home.
I love that. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that. I think one of my favorite things about being in business with you, Moriah, and doing life with you is your authenticity and your realness. And I think it's like one of the most special secret ingredients to the kind of person that you would want guiding you on a real estate transaction is a full human, someone who feels it all, who's going to go into that experience with you as if it were them. And that is you, Moriah Avery. So thank you very much for bringing your heart to the table. We love
Yeah.
being in business with you. We love going on this journey with you. Multiple people in the thread already blasting off about how awesome you are.
Aww.
So you're well respected in your community. I love it. Brian
Love
Howard.
you guys.
Brian Howard.
That's my husband.
Yeah. Well, he's all caps, home with the heart. And before we bring on our last guest here to ask a question, Vanessa Clement asked, have you ever had a transaction or a closing that felt like it took a miracle?
Oh, absolutely. Regularly.
Can you give us a story of one?
Um,
We could even pick, because we do have to do a little bit of ad time, for this. Someone's got to put this together. So we decided to do a complimentary ad for Emotion Art, which you guys can search the latest weekly episodes at thisisemotion.com.
He's very talented.
Michael Avery is probably someone you've seen in our story, Vanessa. We're going to get to this question, but we got to pause here to do our quick ad space for Michael Avery. Because you mentioned family. He was a part of that. You guys have 7 other brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Something like that. And so as someone who comes from fellow 7 brothers and sisters family, I want to pull up that because I thought it was good. So this is our midway point. And I have been on Michael's podcast. You've been on his podcast. So if someone wants to hear more about your story, what are they going to gain from that one?
Probably more into my childhood and my journey to growing as a person.
If you're someone who loves diving deep into the raw, real stuff that makes us human, like those unfiltered conversations about life, trauma, joy, and everything in between, you've got to check out Michael's podcast. It's Moriah's brother, so it's got to be good. You're gonna like Michael. The podcast is called Emotion Art. It's hosted by Michael Avery, who experiences emotion as art. True to form. Is that always how he's always been? Every episode.
I remember when he was a little kid, he used to say, Moriah, I see numbers in colors and they just are on top of people's heads.
I love that. So Michael definitely sees the world differently, and he really does a good job at getting people's stories out. And that's what I love about Emotion Art. This is emotionart.com. You guys can subscribe today. Thank you, Michael, for supporting. He's one of our live audience members today. And I want to bring it back to this last question as we think about the miracle before we go to our final question from Anthony on the audience. This came from Vanessa online. Have you ever had that transaction that felt like a miracle? What's your story to that?
Oh God, I got to pick one now. I had one client moving from northern Oregon, and we were just about to close. We were just I think maybe a week away, and he put in his resignation from his job. He was transferring down, but he put in his resignation for his job right before we closed, which is an automatic denial then on loan.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, it's over. But they were able to get the proper documentation and it worked. But that was a scary one.
So you got a resignation and still brought through the closing table.
And I think a lot of times, I would say some of the biggest close calls are when there is a lot of repairs needed, things that are health and safety, and people are not willing to do the stuff. So I am not opposed to rolling up my sleeves and going in and getting it done
Love
and
that.
making it happen, because it isn't about it's about getting your hands dirty and really walking beside your people and helping them reach their goals no matter what.
Love that. Thanks for sharing. Anthony, we'd like to welcome you to the stage to ask our final question of the show. This one, you never know here at the Boys and Girls Club. This will be our first live guests here from the Boys and Girls Club in their podcast studio. And I love that we've got a Chicago fan here. We got to learn about our new guest. Anthony, have a seat. And you can even pop the headphones on if you want to sound super cool. Nice. Anthony, before you ask your question, can you tell us about you?
My name is Anthony. I'm 13 years old. My favorite color is blue, and I go to the Linus Pauly Middle School in Corvallis.
Okay,
Nice.
awesome, man. Awesome. Before you get to your question, any takeaways from the conversation with Moriah so far today?
Not really.
I'm curious about you. You can read your writing. You want to go ahead and ask away on this question here because I know it's important.
So I know you like The Walking Dead. I want to know what your top 3 characters are.
My top 3 characters. Oh God, it's been so long since I watched it. I really liked Carl.
He's one of my favorite characters too.
I was really sad with what happened to him.
I couldn't even name top
I
3
liked
characters.
Daryl a lot. I think he was one of my top favorites. And well, I mean, everyone's gonna love Rick.
He's the main character.
Yeah, he is the main character. But Judith was pretty fun too. Oh, come on, she was so cute.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I'm feeling a little left out here because
What are your favorite ones?
So number 3, I think I'm gonna have to go with like Gabriel.
Okay.
He's like the priest, and then
Oh yeah, he was always scared.
but then he lost his eye, and then he was like more tougher.
Oh, that's true.
And
That's a
then
good one. I like that.
I think number 2.
number 2 favorite. I had to
Number,
use the pad. Sorry.
number 2, I'm also gonna have to go with Carl, because in the comics he was supposed to survive the entire show, but the directors didn't want to pay him because he was gonna turn into an
Oh,
adult
so-
actor.
They didn't want what?
They didn't. He was supposed to survive the entire show in the comics, or not in the. He was supposed to survive in the comics, like growing up, but the developers didn't want to pay him because he was turning 18.
Wow, I did not know the story.
Oh, that sucks. And then who's your third?
Well, at my third,
Mm-hmm.
I think either between Daryl or Dale.
Okay.
So I'm curious, like from The Walking Dead, this is just asking from someone who, didn't watch a lot of it, but what would you say is the most redemptive lesson from that whole TV series?
Probably don't trust everyone you see, because in this show there's a lot of people, like Rick, the main character. He likes to he likes to trust a lot of people, but sometimes at the end of the day they end up betraying him.
And I would say sticking together.
Sticking
Yeah.
together too.
Keeping it in the family.
In the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm liking that trend. Well, Anthony, since you've come on to our show, before we wrap up here, was there anything else that you wanted to share on the note of the question of place, like finding your home? What makes your home for you?
Feel safe.
Yeah, feel safe. feel wanted.
Feeling safe, feeling wanted. Those are key
And I
ingredients.
bet it's nice to always wake up in your room and know exactly where all your stuff is.
Most of the time, because I have to share it with my brother.
Oh, you have to. Maybe it's time for a bigger house.
Yeah, love it. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for sharing your heart. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank
And-
you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, we're wrapping it up. I'll tell you what, you guys, if you're interested in bringing your story or even a semblance of your story like Moriah has today, thank you so much for your courage and
Thank you
sharing.
for having me.
And you want to get some engagement from our local youth. Thank you, Anthony, for being on the show today, and also for our other audience engagement. We're going to be doing a version of this podcast all over the state of Oregon, tuning in from various podcast locations that we have, including our friends over at Marks in Time in Albany. Shout out to them. Our friend at Weldwood Studios. You guys seen this come through Scott's Kemp studio before. And of course, our neighbors over at the Head of Hearts and Boost podcast in the door office upstairs in the new Plaza building. There's all kinds of opportunities for you guys to get your stories out there. If you want to be interviewed on the show, we're going to be putting these out on the regular. And for special episodes from the Boys and Girls Club, you just got to be ready to come and take live questions from the kiddos. So thank you guys for engaging. And Moriah, thanks for being a great sport today.
Absolutely. And it was really fun talking to you guys.
Good
job.
This is an experimental journey that we're all on. So thank you for those that have tuned in live. This has been another episode of the Find Your Place podcast experience. And in fact, really the first ever episode under that new and improved name that we're doing. So thank you for that. This podcast was brought to you by the Discover Oregon real estate team, namely the newest member of DOOR, Moriah Avery. If you're looking for a quality agent who leads and loves with heart, who takes care of her clients as if they were her own family because they are her family. She operates business from a family mindset. She embodies our 10C values, specifically the values of connection, putting relationships first, compassion, putting empathy in action, and competence. With 10 years of real estate experience, Moriah is a force in this business. We are so honored to be in business with her. And a shout out to all of our DOOR team, our DOOR family across the state of Oregon. We do have another listing going live today over in Central Oregon. We had one go live yesterday in Corvallis, under 500,000. Both great investment opportunities, whether you're looking for your first home or your first investment property. We would love to help you. We want to be there for your first, and we want to be there for your last. DOOR exists to facilitate the discovery of community, legacy, and adventure through real estate everywhere. And we've done our job when we help you with your real estate goals for life. One final sponsor that I wanted to shout out is Weldwood Marketing, and specifically the Oregon Business Conference. If you are not signed up for the conference coming up in February, I think it's the 11th through 13th, Michael, something in that range. That second weekend in February, you're going to want to be there, be square. That is going to be over in Lebanon. We've got speakers coming in from all over the country. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be super fun.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
I sold you on it, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a blast. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, I'm your host, Tim Rist, here to help you find your people and find your place.